Hello, my name is Sean, and today we'll be discussing Grizzly's 12-inch left-tilting Extreme Series table saws. The saws we will go over today are part of our Extreme Series line of machines. These table saws have been designed from the inside out and built to handle the toughest jobs day in and day out. Grizzly understands the table saw is arguably the most important machine in any woodworking shop, and we continue to add new and innovative features, making them a favorite in thousands of shops across the US and Canada. We are committed to supplying our customers with the highest quality, best performing table saws available. Grizzly table saws also meet the UL 987 safety standards that came into effect in 2010. In fact, Grizzly was one of the first to incorporate these new safety standards across our entire line of table saws that all include riving knives. Let's get started comparing the group of 12-inch cabinet saws by looking at the G0605X1 saw. Right after this table saw was introduced in 2006, it was awarded the Best New Tool by Popular Woodworking. This prestigious award was given to this 12-inch Grizzly table saw because of its innovative features and technology on the outside and the heavy-duty guts on the inside, including its cast iron trunnions. When a customer buys a 12-inch table saw, they are expecting a saw ready for heavy-duty cutting. The G0605X1 delivers on that expectation and more. This saw features a hefty 5-horsepower, 220-volt single-phase motor. The motor is a totally enclosed, fan-cooled induction motor with shielded, permanently sealed bearings. Power is transferred from the motor to the 1-inch arbor via a wide poly-V serpentine belt system, providing more efficient, quiet, and smooth operation. The on-off switch is rail-mounted for quick access and has an oversized off panel. A magnetic safety switch is standard and now incorporates a lockout pin for added safety. This saw also features a bevel-angled digital readout for quick blade tilt adjustments. This digital readout is a great time saver when making multiple angle adjustments. An adjustable stop allows the user to quickly return to 90-degree cutting. Simply set the angle, lock it down, and cut. The G0605X1 has an enclosed blade under the table for improved dust collection and features an internal dust collection hose for direct collection right at the blade. The dust hose is then integrated down into the 4-inch dust port, and the interior floor is also slanted downwards to the dust port for maximum dust collection efficiency. A hinged motor cover is standard on the G0605X1. A 12-inch by 60-tooth carbide-tip saw blade is included with this saw. Maximum depth of cut is 4 inches at 90 degrees. The blade will tilt to a maximum of 45 degrees to the left with a 2 7/8 maximum depth of cut. The saw blade arbor is long enough to accommodate up to a 3/4 inch stacked dado blade. The maximum rip capacity to the right of the blade is 52 inches. Saw blade height changes are made smoothly using the large cast iron hand wheels with polished chrome handles. The blade height is locked using a large metal center locking knob. The solid cast iron table is first heat treated to relieve stresses in the metal, then machined perfectly flat, and finally ground to a mirror-like finish. The saw also has a beveled edge to prevent the miter gauge and wood from catching on the edge when feeding in. The cast top measures 30 3/4 of an inch square and an amazing 1 15/16 of an inch thick. The top with the cast iron extension wing and the extra long right-hand extension table measures 78 3/4 of an inch wide by 30 3/4 of an inch deep. For the best in workpiece stability and cutting accuracy, the G0605X1 incorporates a rear-mounted extension table. This extension table measures 27 inches wide and 42.5 inches deep and includes milled slots so the bar of the miter gauge can be pushed through. The extension tables on the G0605X1 have heavy-duty steel legs for extra table support. The rear and right table extensions include lower storage shelves perfect for storing jigs, push sticks, and extra saw blades. The table features T-miter slots so your miter gauge will not fall off when retracted. You must never use this saw without the UL 987 approved blade guards in place when making through cuts. The saw blade guard is made from clear plastic for great visibility, and independent side guards allow for smooth feeding operation. The UL 987 approved blade guard requires no tools and only seconds to remove or reinstall when changing over to a riving knife. During non-through cuts, when the blade guard needs to be removed, the riving knife helps to prevent the wood from pinching behind the blade and keeps wood from catching on the back side of the blade, which can result in a dangerous kickback. The riving knife on the G0605X1 table saw is a true riving knife and moves up and down with the saw blade and maintains an even distance between the blade and the knife. Remember, the guard should only be removed for cuts that cannot be performed with it on, typically a non-through cut. The fence on the G0605X1 is a front lever cam style lock fence. It measures 40 1/4 inches of length and has extruded aluminum sides. A high visibility scale allows for easy, precise, and repeatable settings. The fine line magnifying cursor can be mounted on either side of the fence depending on preference. This fence system comes with a super heavy duty front and rear rails that are epoxy coated for a long-lasting smooth finish. For added convenience, the fence can be lifted off the rails anywhere along its length. This is a heavy-duty precision fence built for many years of use. The foundation for the G0605X1 is a heavy-gauge, pre-formed one-piece steel cabinet. The cabinet's footprint measures 22.5 by 24 inches and makes a perfect base for the huge upper work surface. Two important accessories to consider are the heavy-duty, full-metal Grizzly toolboxes. These toolboxes are great for storing all of your table saw accessories, everything from saw blades, dado blade set, extra blades, miter gauge, measuring tools, angle gauges, jigs, and more. To see all the accessories for this saw, visit the G0605X1 page on our website, grizzly.com. The G0605X1 and the G0606X1 table saws come in 4 boxes with a total shipping weight of 854 pounds. The main box is over 600 pounds and a fork truck should be considered when moving and unloading it. The main box measures 41 inches wide by 34 inches long by 41 inches high. The fence box measures 44 inches long by 18 inches wide by 9 inches high. And the rail box measures 96 inches long by 7 inches wide by 8 inches high. And the fourth box containing the extension tables measures 44 inches long by 32 inches wide by 11 inches high. As you can see, the G0605X1 is a massive 12-inch table saw, ideally suited to handle large panel sawing for many years of use. The next table saw we will talk about today is the G0606X1 12-inch heavy-duty cabinet saw with a 7.5 horsepower 3-phase motor. The G0606X1 is the twin of the G0605X1 that we just went over. It comes with all the same great features such as a huge work surface with 2 table extensions, quick change riving knife and saw blade guard, digital angle readout, heavy steel support legs, 52-inch rip capacity, and more. The only difference is the saw comes with a 7.5 horsepower 3-phase motor instead of the 5 horsepower single-phase motor. The use of 3-phase power is common in industrial settings and actually costs less to operate in most cases. This 7.5 horsepower motor provides all the power needed for the heaviest cutting applications and the longest motor life. When ordering the G0606X1, we can convert the table saw over to 440 volt operation from the pre-wired 220 volt standard. The 440 volt conversion must be done at the time of purchase and requires a small additional charge. These Extreme Series table saws are more than capable of tackling the toughest table saw cutting requirements. No expense was spared when designing and building these 2 saws. Next, we will look at the G0696X and the G0697X 12-inch left tilting Extreme Series cabinet saws. These Extreme Series table saws have all the great features of the last models we looked at, like the quick changing saw blade guard and riving knife, digital angle readout, magnetic starter, and serpentine belt, but are made to fit in a much smaller footprint without the extra long fence rails and extension tables. The G0696X has a 5 horsepower single-phase motor, and the G0697X has the 7.5 horsepower 3-phase motor. The G0697X can be converted to 440 volt operation from the pre-wired 220 volt standard. The 440 volt conversion must be done at the time of purchase and requires a small additional charge. The G0696X and the G0697X come in 3 boxes with a total shipping weight of 756 pounds. The main box measures 41 inches wide by 34 inches long by 42 inches high, and the fence box measures 44 inches long by 18 inches wide by 9 inches high, and the fence rail box measures 80 inches long by 7 inches wide by 8 inches high. These 2 extreme saws produce massive output without taking up the entire space in a smaller shop. All of the 12-inch extreme table saws we have discussed today have been designed to provide the best in features and maximum performance and value. We stock all of these models at all 3 locations in Missouri, Pennsylvania, and Washington, and 99% of the orders are shipped the same day. We maintain a huge parts warehouse and keep over 1 million parts in stock for our machines. Just call our toll-free number at 1-800-523-4777. You can also order these or review detailed specifications and manuals on our website at grizzly.com. Thank you for your interest, and we look forward to serving you soon.